The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe.
Greater Salem, New Hampshire Chamber of Commerce presents Success in the 603, a podcast focusing on Granite Staters who have had success in the public or private sector. We'll hear stories of how these people came to be, where they are, and what you can do to get there too. Sit back and enjoy. You are in wicked awesome company.
Well, welcome everyone. Hi there. Welcome to Success.
Hi.
I'm waiting for the music to go down a little bit.
I like the push, like at the end of our push.
Yeah, a little jazzy. It's cool. So hi everyone. Welcome to Success in the 603. My name's Donna Morris. I'm one of your hosts, and
I'm Craig Dufton. I'm one of the other hosts.
Yeah. But we do so much more. What else are you, Craig?
I'm the owner of United Compressor and Pump Services. I'm also a realtor with Keller Williams and a proud chamber member, as I say every week.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
And so Success in the 603, as you may have heard in the introduction, is all about highlighting people that have been successful, and they're going to share their stories with you so that you can find out a little bit about their journey and maybe incorporate some of their tips and tricks into having a successful journey of your own. That pretty much summarizes it.
It summarizes it for me, and we've got a great journey to talk about today. A cool restaurant right on the border of the 603 called Pica's, and we have Wayne and Shane Bernard, two of the owners, two of my friends that I've come to know over the last year and a half or so of the a little bit, almost a year and a half, almost. Right? Almost there. Yeah. Very cool. And great little restaurant. Long time history of that place, actually. Generations of people actually went to Pica's, so it's going to be cool. Yeah. Welcome.
Well, why don't we shout out the actual physical address for those people listening?
Okay, we're at 10 Ayers Village Road. We're actually in Methuen. We're at the 603, but so many of our customers are from Salem.
Yeah,
it feels like we're in Salem.
You reach your arm out the door, I think you're in Salem.
I say it's a 9-iron away.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so it's in Methuen. That's actually Route 97. A lot of people don't know Ayers Village Road is Route 97.
Yep. It's a cool spot. It really is. And
it's beautiful.
You two have been, how long have you both been in the industry before? I know you had a year and a half of this before, but give us a little history of how we got to Pica's today.
Okay, and it's been quite a ride. Ted and my grandfather-in-law started in 1939 with a little pub, beer place, and mostly beer place, I guess, at that point in time, beer place. And my father-in-law took it over from him. My father-in-law, a lot of people know him as Spike, the guy with the big white beard that was always there. He was actually a lawyer. Passed his bar, and then owned a bar. So worked out.
I don't think you have to pass a bar, though, to own a bar, do you?
You never want to pass a bar.
Never want to pass a bar. I love it.
I don't usually pass one. So.
One of the great stories about our location is back in the wartime, I think it was 1942, when he was putting together the restaurant and owned both pieces of property across the street. They were bringing one of the buildings from across the street to attach it to this one to increase the size. And they had it on rollers, and they were pulling it with horses, just rolling it across the street. And it fell off the rollers in the middle of Route 97.
Oh, no.
But this is 1942. It's wartime. Yeah. There was no gas. Yeah. There wasn't much traffic. They decided at that point just to leave it there and get it the next day. Yeah. And that's what they did. They went and had beers. Yeah. And then they got together the next day.
I think they might have had beers before that, too.
That's a good point.
Logs don't just roll off by themselves.
I wonder if they actually went in the building in the middle of 97 and had beers.
Well, that part he didn't tell us, but it's entirely possible.
That's good.
Could have rerouted 97 forever. They could have just left it there, and people would have had to go around it to this day.
Yeah. So from that point, it became the pizza place, became known as Pica's. The name was never Pica's. It was Garden Night Cafe. Oh. But because Al Pica and Al Pica Sr. both owned it, became known as Pica's to all the locals. And when they would go to the dump, they would stop by, and became a very popular corner joint. Pizza and a couple of sandwiches.
So this is your wife's family.
Yes.
Correct. And then you're carrying on through the tradition of your grandfather and your great-grandfather. Yep. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We took it over in 1985. Shane's grandfather passed away.
My great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather passed away down in Florida.
He can't even get it. There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way we're getting it.
There's going to be a quiz after. And when he passed away, the liquor license to that restaurant was in his name. So Shane's grandfather called and said, "Does anybody want to continue running this bar?" And 1985, 84, 85 wasn't a great time to be a bar owner. People were being sued for drinking too much, and
sad and mad, and
all that was really serious.
Very prominent. Yep.
So no one wanted to do that. So he closed it up, got rid of the liquor license, and my wife and I decided at the time to open a video store. So we opened in 1985 as a video store. It was Video Valet.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Like
One of the old ones.
the rentals. Yeah.
Video
in the
rentals and
80s.
machine rentals, and we did very well for quite a while. And slowly, of course, that went away with Blockbuster, and then the Comcast with all the online and streaming and everything. So at one point we brought in the Mass State Lottery about 1988, and we started to grow the lottery business faster than the video business. So one shrunk. We grew the lottery business. In the late 80s, we were the fourth highest grossing lottery agent in the state. We're grossing over $8.5 million in lottery sales. And then it got to the point where video went away entirely, but you can't have a lottery store.
Yep.
Oh.
So we opened up the coffee shop.
Right.
So we were just going to do coffee and breakfast things.
Well, we noticed people bringing in Dunkin' Donuts and bringing in a sandwich from this place and that place, and I've always had a passion for food. I've always loved creating different things and trying different things. So when we were talking about opening the coffee shop, we said, well, we can do better than all that. We can serve a better coffee. We can make a better sandwich.
Yep.
And we decided that from there the coffee shop started growing, and we built a pretty good coffee business from there.
Yeah.
It became a stop for somebody on their way to work every day. We still had the lottery business was booming, and people liked being able to have a sandwich. And I started getting a little more and more creative, always wanting to do more, but the confines of what we had, I couldn't do it. I was putting out a great product, but I was still restrained by what we had.
Yeah, how many square feet was that? Because we'll talk about your new place, but the old one, how small are we talking? I used to go in for a sandwich and coffee and scratch.
The coffee area of it was probably what?
400
square feet.
Yeah, we had a total of about 1,200 back then.
Yeah, yep. And we had that till 2016.
Yeah.
November of 2016, we had a fire.
Yeah.
Exhaust fan in the bathroom. So if anybody wants to know, check your exhaust fans.
Yeah.
Clean them. You do have to clean them.
You do.
Yep.
You do.
Yeah, we went 17 years without cleaning it, so that's what happens when you do that.
And, right. After the fire, I essentially sat in the parking lot and watched my family's business for generations burning, and and just didn't know what I was going to do. I actually called him.
What year was this?
2016, November.
Well, it's not that long ago.
Wow, not long ago. Right.
No.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was longer than that.
It does seem like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember calling him and saying, the building's on fire, and I'm watching it burn. He says, well, go in and put it out. And I said, I'm not going in there.
Big fire.
Yeah, it was a little bigger than
It wasn't just a little fire.
Is this the best fatherly advice you've ever given him? Because I'm not sure.
I couldn't understand why he told me that the building's on fire. Put it out.
Yeah.
What else would I say for fire?
I said, I'm not going in there.
That's when I realized maybe it was a little bigger fire than I thought.
Yeah, that must have been devastating.
It was.
Like,
it was. It was a rough day, but ended up being a blessing in disguise. We sat down a week later.
Yeah, I was back the next day.
Yeah, and we sat down and said, well, what do we want to do? And I've always kind of wanted to go back to what it was. Kind of bring back that neighborhood. We were always kind of that neighborhood place, but I wanted to do it at the scale that I knew I could with a new building.
Yep.
So we.
How much fun was that dealing with Methuen to get that done for you?
It was
what a project!
It was a challenge, and we were our own GCs for the project. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we learned a lot of things we didn't want to know.
Yeah.
So now do you own the land?
Yes,
you
we
own
do.
the land,
Yes.
that little square area, or do you have the building in back too?
We had about 5 acres there.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Okay.
The majority of it is wetlands.
Right.
Yeah.
That was our whole issue with the town and trying to get going, and why we could only rebuild on our footprint.
Yeah.
Exactly what we had is all we could do.
Yeah.
So that's why it is as small as it is.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's the perfect size, and we can tell our listeners out there, it's just you have your lottery off to the side, so people can still have fun and watch the keno while they're. But I feel like you have just enough bar stools and just enough of the tabletops that it does get that small town local pub feel. You're not you're not just a number. You go in there, you see the regulars, and it's we're regulars. And I mean, your food. They brought some food today too. I mean, you talk about creative. So
we're gonna get to this food quickly before other people want to eat it. And,
the biggest live studio audience we've had.
Pat and Jen, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
But before we talk a little bit about the new space,
our new engineer this week, Jonathan, taking the
filling in for Mr. Ed Sullivan.
Yes.
I was so excited hearing your story. I forgot we do need to do a shout out to our sponsors real quick. And actually, you are one of our sponsors, so that was a good sponsorship.
One of our first sponsors.
Yeah, thank you for supporting us and signing on. But we also want to say it is tax season, and they are busy. But if you are looking for a CPA, Travis Terry and Company, they operate on the foundation of honesty and integrity and hard work for you. Located at 25 Main Street in Salem, New Hampshire, they make taxes less taxing. We're in the throes of tax season, so how great would it be just to use a professional to help you?
How great would it be not to have to pay any taxes?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Going to get all libertarian. Give them a call at 603-898-2511, or you can find them on the World Wide Web at travisterrycpa.com. Thank you.
She loves that.
Yeah, that's right.
World Wide Web.
So you've just built this place. I got to tell you, I would love to talk a little bit about the architecture, because I was saying you have the lottery area, but just the right. The architect was actually a chamber member, Rob Hannon. But you want to tell us about? It's beautiful.
And actually, I'll go back to how we signed on with Rob to help us build our building.
Good story too.
It's a really good story. We were a coffee shop, and we had people in every day. I didn't necessarily know everybody's name that came in every morning, but when we had the fire, I said, you know what, we need to find an architect to help us build our building. So I Googled architects, Salem, New Hampshire, and the first one that came up was Rob Hannon. I don't know.
You live in Salem.
I do live in Salem. Yeah.
Do you live where do you live?
I live in Haverhill now. I lived in Salem for 30 years.
Okay.
Yep.
So 603 years, good.
Yep.
I live right around the corner. So I found Rob Hannon on Google, and I went to the About Me, and picture pops up, and I said, hey, that's 2 eggs and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel.
Great.
So I called, and I left him a message. He didn't answer. I said, hey, you're 2 eggs and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel every morning. I said, we had, you probably know we had a fire at Common Grounds, and we need an architect, so call me. And he thought it was the funniest thing. But we signed on with him, and he was absolutely phenomenal.
Fantastic.
I
Fantastic.
mean, what he created there, I mean, what we all created, because it was a lot of us, a lot of hours sitting down and talking about feelings.
What and how.
It was, how do you want to feel when you walk into your place was the first question he asked us, which is difficult.
Yeah.
Yep.
To vocalize. But it was
a project.
It was.
You managed to capture a nice, urban but cozy, and it's how can you be urban and rustic too at the same time? It's a nice blend. The stones and the.
One of the first things we started with is we wanted that open concept with the trusses.
Yeah.
So we came up with what we wanted for trusses, and then everything else had to feed off of that. The stonework, the concrete floor.
It almost looks like an old like a Stonehurst Manor type of one of those Adirondack. It's got that homey, ski lodge kind of feel, when you walk in.
Yeah.
But it's complemented with those contemporary lights, and you get
concrete
lights.
It's beautiful. Everyone should go see you. Again, the address for our people listening.
10 Ayers Village Rd Methuen.
Yeah.
Is that Route 97?
It is.
Okay.
Just double check.
And Pica's, I would assume it's on the World Wide Web too. So
it is.
Want to give that out?
PicasPub.com.
PicasPub.com.
Facebook, Pica's Pub.
And you guys are chamber members too, which we love. We love having you in the chamber. That's it's kind of funny that we're showcasing a business from outside of the 603, but you're 603ers. I mean, your successes come here. You've lived here your whole lives, and that's our focus. And I love your restaurant. I love the fact that everybody knows me, that people think I'm a mayor there. I love all that stuff. I think it's hilarious. Like we were there today having lunch with another one of our financial guys that Jen and I deal with, and he's like, he goes, do you like know everybody here? And I said, yeah. I said, everybody knows everybody here. I said, it's just a cozy.
It's kind of like Cheers.
Yeah.
It's.
And we all stay away from 4 to 6. We know that, that's your busy time with all those people. And then we fill our your regulars fill in after that and in it and out of it. Chuck and Don, all those guys. I mean, it's a great group of people that go there all the time.
It really is. We have a great clientele.
Yeah. And it's been amazing with people coming in saying, and they run into people they haven't seen in 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So they just, because there hasn't been any place like that up in that area. Yeah. So we've given them a place to go to, and now these people they're finding each other. And
well, you've given them a place and you've given them a reason.
Yeah.
So if you want, what do you think? Should we talk a little bit about your creative culinary?
Yeah, let's talk about the menu, because then I want to digress again and talk about how you got here again from a, you had a lot of hardships. Obviously, we talked about a few of your hardships, but you've had a lot of things where you can compare 3 or 4 different types of businesses that you've run at that same. Although they're almost the same style of service business, there's still differences from them.
Yeah, we've always been in the service industry in one way or another.
Yeah, So let's talk about your menu here. So that
all right. Yeah, well,
from
our
breakfast
studio audience
sandwiches to
yeah. So I mean, I've always enjoyed food. Like I said, I like trying different things. I like things that are a little bit different than everywhere else you might go.
And how did you learn to cook? Self-taught?
My mother.
Your mother?
My mother. My mother instilled that in me. I've just always been interested in it. Just taking a recipe and trying to make it perfect and make it my own in some way or another. So one of the first things I wanted to do was bring back some of the dishes that my great grandfather and grandfather had back in the day. The stuffed meatball sub was a regular.
Is that this?
Spikes.
All right.
Spikes.
Hand that to that. Shimmy that over to the.
So it's
Can they
essentially.
see the meatballs?
They can't see the meatballs,
Open it up.
but I assure you they're in there. But it's funny. It's a Tripoli's Italian stick.
I'm opening it.
Go right ahead. We hollow it out.
You can't open it up.
No,
you hollowed it out. Oh my gosh, this is like a
meatballs are
secret
inside.
sub.
Yes. So
Wow.
and it's funny watching people get it for the first time.
like you just did.
They look at it and they don't understand.
That's hilarious.
But it was something that was always served there, and people still to this day they'll come in to me and say, they used to serve this meatball sandwich, and I bring them the menu and say this one, and they say, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic meatball, homemade marinara. We use shredded provolone cheese in there. It's absolutely perfect.
So I've never gotten that, but I got to tell you, it looks a lot less messy.
It is, and
like everything's
that's the problem with a traditional
Stays
meatball.
inside.
That last
Swap it
meatball
out.
always shoots out the back. And
There's a whole song about that.
yeah, there certainly is. But I mean, just some of our appetizers, our hog wings, which are huge, very popular right now. It's basically a pork shank with a homemade Thai chili sesame dipping sauce that we put that in. It falls off the bone.
And 100% meat on there. Just one little bone pulls out of there.
You get 4 ounces out of that in every one. It's delicious.
I love those.
Yeah.
So
They're
The
delicious.
sauce
And-
makes it.
And my burgers are a chuck short rib blend. This is our new on our newer menu. It's the bacon onion jam burger. So it's got a bacon onion jam on there. It's got Swiss cheese. It's got onion strings and a honey chipotle aioli. We recently, I wouldn't say recently, but we started getting into smoking our own meats as well. And we started off with my cook Gus is the pit master at Pica's, and he has perfected our smoked chicken wings. They are absolutely to die for, crispy, just the right amount of smoke, and you can't go wrong.
They are the best.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with them. And we serve them with a sauce caddy, so you can have them with whatever kind of sauce you want. It's not just buffalo. It's not just barbecue. It's there.
Okay, so all this stuff here,
Yes.
one of my favorites is also here, but it's a second glass citizen are they onion rings?
Onion strings.
You guys, onion strings. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
those are fantastic. They
really
are.
are.
They're the best. So
Yep.
this is why we go there. We talk about you guys a lot.
Yeah,
It's like such a great
if you haven't
hangout.
been there, you
Such
definitely
great
got to go by because they have great specials. The chicken barb is the best. You know, all sorts of stuff. But
And that's very much a Merrimack Valley thing.
Yeah,
Like, I was like,
chicken
what
barb
is
is-
chicken barb? You
yeah.
want to tell people what chicken barb is? Like,
45s and chicken barb.
yeah.
Absolutely right.
The chicken barb. It's actually we had an issue the other day that somebody ordered it to go and was upset that there was no barbecue sauce in it. The chicken barb is chicken cooked in our own chicken stock to the point where it just pulls apart and falls apart. It almost melts in your mouth. And then all you do is serve it on a bun. We use a Tripoli ciabatta with mayo and iceberg lettuce, and it's simple, but it is perfection. And it's a Merrimack Valley
is
thing. You're
Merrimack Valley.
absolutely right.
well, I think it's from a woman named Barbara, so it's chicken barb, and everyone thinks it's chicken barbecue. So you're like, no,
Yeah, right.
it's barb.
I think it's from Bees, actually. Bees is like one of the original people that served it. And there was one in Lawrence, place in Lawrence that had the chicken. I'll Google chicken barb while we're playing.
Yeah,
I
don't
really
think
want to know.
you can't get one unless you say Mingya.
Mingy, it's true. My grandmother would smack your tongue right now if you said that. So
Well, I think you guys, now I'm like, you should have a 45s tournament.
right?
A little mini one. Like,
it.
oh my
So
God.
we go
all
from
together.
video store.
Yes.
All right,
store.
we go from restaurant that you guys weren't involved in the original Pica's restaurants, but
Right.
Not
But-
Outside of
I mean, you were a kid.
I was
you were
10.
young, and then you were meeting your wife, and everything went well, and you got dragged into the Pica's family at that time. Or
Yeah.
how long have you been married?
well, unfortunately, Shane's mother passed away in 2007.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that we were married in 1975.
Yep.
So Shane's been in the family business, which isn't necessarily easy to do, work with family for that long.
No, that was one of my topics of conversation.
since
yeah.
he was 10 years old.
Yeah. I unpacked the first. Well, actually, before that, I was folding pizza
Folding
boxes
pizza
for my
boxes.
grandfather at the original Garden Night Cafe.
Right.
But yeah, we unpacked the first box of movies. We built the coffee shop together, and now we built Pica's.
That is a great story because you don't hear that as much anymore. You know,
Yeah.
people are more
4
transient.
generations.
Yeah, that's
And we're kind of hoping that Shane's daughter, Violet or Kennedy, will take the
it number
mantle.
5.
Make it
Make it
5.
5 generations. You know?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
And you know what? Not for nothing. I'm not gonna try to make you sad, but you know what? Your mom lives on.
Oh, absolutely.
She taught you to cook, and you're
Absolutely.
sharing her.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
Yep. And she would love to see what we've built there. You know?
As would Spike.
Oh yeah, as with my
Oh, yeah.
grandfather.
yeah.
Yeah, I had the privilege of seeing him every day right up until the day he passed. He would come down, and he would sit every day down at Common Grounds, Video Valley, and then Common Grounds, and sit there. And I got to talk to him. He was a great guy, and you know I learned a lot from him.
What'd you learn?
Oh, you want a quote?
I'll put you on the spot. Yeah, if he's got a great quote,
Is your
let's
quote
hear it.
from him?
He has a great quote. It is,
Okay.
and it's about running your own business. And he said, you know, running your own business is like having a jealous mistress. She wants all of your time, all of the time.
Wow.
And it's true.
Yeah.
It's something that you can't shut off. You know, it's 24/7. You know, and you know you're always.
Especially the restaurant business. I mean,
Yes.
it's a different.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yes.
Oh,
I
up
know
till-
one story Elena was telling us earlier about how you were going to like Dave and Buster's with your
Yes,
family or
yeah.
something, and you're like,
Last
"Hey,
week-
night out at Dave and Buster's." I'm like, "Nope, sorry." You're like,
Yeah.
the
Oh, right.
dishwasher is like leaking something.
Yeah, as soon
green
as
or blue.
As soon as I
or-
sat down, all of a sudden the dishwasher is leaking something, and that was the end of that. but it's okay. You know, I know it comes with the territory, and you know it's. But we're the things that we're doing there, I'm proud of, and you know it's a lot of fun. And
throughout all our business, I think it always has been service.
Yeah,
When we were, of course, we operated out of a trailer for a year while we were building the
I
building.
remember, right? Yeah.
And all our customers kept coming to us in the trailer.
Yeah, and you had to build the ramp. You had to build the handicap ramp and everything to go up to the trailer, right?
Yeah.
And you had all that stuff. So,
Yeah, just to keep them coming our way and,
Yeah.
and keeping them interested in what we were
staying
doing. And
visible.
staying visible to them, and they've stayed loyal to us.
Yeah.
so how did the Keno phenomenon? I mean, Keno's like a new phenomenon now. Like everybody wants to play Keno.
Yeah.
Nobody wins at it, but everyone wants to play it.
And it's actually
So-
25 years?
yeah, I think it's going to.
It's been
had
around
it-
forever in
we've had it
Massachusetts.
25 years,
It's been around
yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
and it just seems like it's like just caught on all of a sudden in the last couple of years. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's me, but
Yeah, I think, but you probably notice it more at the bar because so many people do play it that way. But we had, like I said, at one point we were $8.5 million a year, and even now downsized to where we are, we're doing about $5 million a year in lottery sales. Yeah. And we don't have a sign out front for lottery.
Well, you used to be able to pull up and sit in your car and watch the queue numbers
that was
too.
one of the decisions we had to make.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, we had to make that decision to remove those
so that people could park and come in.
Yeah.
Well, you want them outside. You want them inside spending money.
Right.
So,
eat, drink, and play Keno.
Yeah.
So which one is the hardest out of all of them? Which business so far?
Restaurant.
Oh, this one by far.
Yes.
Hands down.
Well, and you have to think. I mean, we went from 10 employees to 30. So that's a large part of just the hiring and the firing and the
scheduling.
retention and scheduling and all of that and personalities and being able to manage that many personalities in one building and but we're learning. He's done a lot more managing of people throughout his lifetime than I have, but I'm learning and I don't mind learning things. So.
And we're enjoying it.
Yes.
You can tell. When you say it's the hardest, I also would dare say it's probably one of the best, most rewarding for you guys
rewarding.
too. You can tell. It comes through when you walk in there, you guys will be, hey, and skipping around, and then the quality of what you put out. I mean, there's got to be some.
There's some pride there too, because even when I introduced you to Kevin Sear, you bought all your material from Kevin's company from Sear Lumber, and you never met Kevin. Yeah. But I've had the privilege of knowing him for a few years now, and what a great person he is. And when we introduced each other, Kevin's like, this is. He's really impressed by it because it is a great little place when you just sit there and you just turn your head upward and you look around. You're like, oh, they did a really good job in here. So it's well done.
A lot of time, effort, and money into it, and it's paid off.
Yeah. What's the biggest influence though that your grandfather's had on you, and your father-in-law's had on you?
I think he instilled the service part of it. He was there every single day. He knew people. Yeah. People to this day still come in and say to us, I remember when your father-in-law would be outside every day, and he'd talk to them, and he knew their name. And if they had done anything in particular, he remembered that for years and years and years after.
And if there was, let's say you were to have met him, and you said, I'm a real estate agent, or I'm in compressors. If he didn't know something about compressors, the next time you talked to him, he would have read everything there is to know about compressors,
really?
So that he could have a conversation. So he would know
probably more than I know about compressors.
But that was him, and
wow.
He was an awesome guy.
He was a brilliant guy.
He really was.
He was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, past the bar.
Yeah.
Did he practice law too? No, he just never did.
Nope. Just for friends out of the bar, apparently. Every now and then, someone would have an issue, and he'd handle it for him out of the bar. But never put up a shingle.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Did all that work?
Yeah.
All that work.
And then decided that he went. Do you know the story of how he opened Pica's? I mean,
Well, it was his father.
It was his father that opened it.
And his father wanted him to become a lawyer, and then that didn't happen, right? So,
then he passed the restaurant down to him, and he took it from there. And I think that's that Italian heritage, to keep it in the family and hand it down to the son and keep going.
Crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah.
What about a quote from you, Wayne?
I would just say service, service, service. We enjoy serving our customers. We enjoy seeing the customers, and we consider that to be good service. And if you're not getting good service in our restaurant, you need to let us know.
I think it's important. I mean, I do it. Shane and I talk all the time about stuff. He asks me stuff all the time. He's letting me try stuff all the time. And that's one of the perks of being, one of the loyal members. And Janine and I attest to that all the time, where when I look at my debit card charges and I'm like, went to Pica's quite a few times.
But it's very affordable, I swear. You can go out and it doesn't break the bank at all. So I really love it. I think one of the things that I've gotten about your story today is that, and I'm hoping other people might, is that sometimes tragedy can turn into opportunity. It depends on how you could have just said, oh, well, it was a good run or whatever. But it was like, okay, what are we going to do? And now you're not just making breakfast sandwiches, which are great.
Did you ever think that? Did you guys ever think that after it burned down? Did you always think you're going to rebuild, or did you?
When we started talking about it, and it was pretty scary. It's not as if we had a lot of money or we got a lot of insurance money, because it was a very old building, so it wasn't insured for a whole bunch.
Right.
So we started we first started talking with Rob, he's putting all the stuff together and telling me how much it's going to be. And we started out saying, well, I said to him, well, we can do this for, what, $600,000? And he kind of said no. And so as we went on, well, we can do this for $800,000, can't we? Well, no. So, all right, $1 million. We can get $1 million. No, not really.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So about $1.3 million later,
Wow.
between the excavation and the leach fields we have up back, and the trusses alone, we brought those in the woods out of California. They're built in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
By the time they got to us, they were about $55,000 for 7 trusses to start the final image that we wanted.
But
So
again,
it's insured now, though, right?
Yes.
Because we have Santo insurance. If you don't have
Santo
insurance, we have Santo. They can.
Yes,
Well, you know what? You needed to do that so it'll last another 5 generations.
exactly. It's not going anywhere.
no,
Great.
no.
And it's been successful.
I'm surprised that you don't have town sewer there.
Nope.
Is there town water?
Town water.
Town water, but
We've had town water, and I learned this as we went through the process. We've had town water since 1917.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
wow.
1917, but no town sewage.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
we had to put in a major septic system. But
Yeah, those are cheap too,
oh
huh?
my God, yeah, you know
So
about the pumps.
who was the inspiration for Picas? Were you the inspiration? Did you
Yeah, well,
want to
we-
bring back Picas?
You want to bring back Picas?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were sitting around saying, what are we going to call it? And we came up with kind of our idea for what we wanted it to feel like, and because everybody's always called it Picas. Even when we were a video store, where are you going to rent a video? I'm going to Pica's.
Right.
Where are you going to get your coffee? I'm going to Pica's. So I said, there's really nothing else we can call it, and it just fit, and people, now we even get people that come in that say, I couldn't believe I saw the name on the sign, so it's been fun.
How about the relationship between you guys? I mean, obviously your mom and your wife passed, and that's obviously very tragic. But has it brought you guys closer together, in the restaurant and in the business together, or are you? I don't want to bring up subjects you don't want to talk about. You can just tell
You
me
are
to
being
shut
recorded,
up.
so
But I mean,
come back.
it's not. It can't be easy. I mean,
No.
It's not. It's not. And we're two very strong personalities, so we butt heads daily.
And in the long run, the customer wins on that one. Because we butt heads enough until, guess what? He pushes and pushes and pushes me to do these kind of things. I'm the one that watches the pennies. He doesn't care about pennies.
Yep.
And he develops these things, and any given day you can go in there and he's working on something, something different, something crazy, and but it probably works well. Whereas I handle kind of the management part, the money and so forth, and he runs the restaurant, and I let him run the restaurant. I just tweak him now and then, and I do the rest of it. And
But
surprisingly,
we don't get in any blowouts, so that's good.
yeah,
No, you don't like one of those Ramsey ones,
Right.
they're like he's just sitting back watching them blow each other up. So
yeah, not yet.
Time is it, Craig? 'Cause,
that's time for us to go.
Okay.
yeah, that clock restarted on us. So
Oh yeah, we got
it-
10.
there was a-
We're like 32 minutes right now.
Oh,
So,
good.
Yeah,
I got totally lost with this clock. So I'm like,
it's been a lot of fun. I know we had our
Yeah.
Santo
Absolutely.
insurance two Santo insurance quotes of the week, so we got to get a
I'll
plug in.
do a
there.
little shout out to Santo Insurance.
And then we can talk a little bit more and wrap it up.
So Santo Insurance and Financial Services operates under the independent agency model. This allows them to search the entire marketplace to find the best coverages and premiums for their clients. With today's busy lives and businesses, one size may not fit all. Santo Insurance has the flexibility to move carriers that best suit their clients' needs. They carefully review each of their carrier's products to get their clients the best solution. Located at 224 Main Street in Salem, New Hampshire, they've been in business for over 25 years. Give them a call, good old Jamie Santo, at 603-890-6439, or you can visit them at santoinsurance.com.
See, we have 4 comments.
So thank you, Jamie, for sponsoring us. And, hey, we've been talking
Matt?
about insurance and fires and stuff. Call Jamie, man. Get it covered. Get it covered.
Matt Morin said, Craig, speak for yourself. I've won plenty of times at Keno.
Yeah.
And he said again, he loves Picas. This is great. So, shout out to you, Matt.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what do you got for advice for any young Waynes and Shanes out there that want to think about getting together? And
Don't be afraid to go for it.
yeah.
Yeah, give it your all. Give it what you got, and it'll be a lot of work. But boy, when it works, when we see the restaurant busy and full and everybody enjoying
Buzzing.
themselves, it just feels good.
Yeah, there's a buzz in there some nights that you just can't help but smile.
Yeah.
That you can hear people having a good time.
Yeah.
And enjoying themselves, and
That's a cool
That's
thing.
the best. It really is.
Yeah.
I've read that a lot, or read it and seen it on TV a lot with even Gordon Ramsay. I watch a lot of his shows and stuff, and he says that to the owners all the time. He's like, just listen.
Yeah.
Listen to your restaurant right now. You can hear like just everybody having a great time,
Yeah.
and you must see that.
Oh, yeah.
'cause, when you hear people, they must scream when they win. And,
yeah.
it's cool stuff. Janine wins all the
do.
time. I don't win anything.
All the time.
I don't scratch, but Janine's a good scratcher.
Oh, you've won.
Yeah, she's won.
Yeah.
You may not win at Keno, but
I
you've
won overall. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
I won about that. Absolutely.
So I think
Jonathan, you never been there? Never been to Pica's?
I haven't yet, but I'm going.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll
So
save you,
sure.
we'll save you a hog wig.
Yeah.
10 Ayers Village Road, right over the line in Methuen, Mass.
Yeah.
Also
Yes.
Route 97. Thank you, guys.
No,
Real
thank-
quick, if you mention the podcast, I'll give you a free appetizer.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's a
That's
good one.
good.
You know?
Those mozzarella
I'm gonna
things are
mention it.
good.
Yeah.
I get enough free stuff as it
Oh,
is.
the poutine.
Oh, and it's so good for you.
Yes.
Very Italian, that poutine. Very Italian.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. You've both been
thank-
wicked awesome company.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
Great.
having us.
It's awesome.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.